Welcome back to the channel, lads and ladies, and welcome to another replay. I just had a great match grinding for the event, so let's get into the replay. I decided to take out my American 6.0 lineup, and I actually did a lot of work with the M18 Hellcat, which makes me happy because at a 5-3 battle rating in at least a 6-0 match, the Hellcat is still very effective, and in terms of SP, very efficient. So, it is a fantastic vehicle to go for that isolated capture zone in because of its high speed, low profile, and good ability to defend itself, disregarding armor protection, which you don't have protection from your armor, that is. So let's go ahead and just do a little bit of tweaking here. That'll probably be a little bit better. Okay, so welcome back. I'm trying to make this replay video at a minimum of editing, so I'm trying to do all of this recording live, which is a little bit different for me, so apologies if things get a little bit weird. I usually record all of my commentary in one big block, which you may have noticed. But I have the flu, and I've been grinding this event all day, but I just had to share this video with you all. So here we are together, and here we are, the only person at the C-zone. No enemies in the area yet, as we're peeking around nervously, checking the enemy spawn repeatedly, and this is a fantastic position for control of the map. It doesn't seem like the best spot because you don't have view of the entire map, and yet you can just barely poke your gun over this dune here. I'm actually ranging the target. It looks like a Yagged Panther, which is not something I'm able to pen at this or any range from the front, but at this point in the match I had just committed to playing aggressively and trying to get killed and get into an aircraft. That was my strategy when I was playing my 3.0 lineup earlier today. We go ahead and pick up the kill on, it looks like that was the Chinese what's it called? Floaty tank. Yes, that seems like a good enough definition. And since we ranged our first target, all we know... Oh, hello, Chinese M18. Let's see if we can get a shot on you. And, no, we aimed just a bit too low. And, before we get another round reloaded, he is playing that World of Tanks, apparently, where he's just peeking out a tiny bit of his vehicle and then scooting back into cover, hoping, no doubt, to get me to shoot at him. What he may not be aware of is that if I get his transmission, as we do there, we get a hull break. On top of that, our round managed to detonate, taking down his entire crew in the process. So, big oof for him. F's in chat for Chinese M18. Time to get on wish.com and order another one. I've already made that joke, but it's still funny. So, I absolutely love the M18. It taught me a new way to play the game. It has a fantastic gun. It has top-of-the-line mobility for its battle rating and beyond. We've already shown that it's very good at taking down lighter targets, even in an up tier, and it's still able to get to the point before a lot of enemies. Now, why did we take a shot at that Jagdpanzer even though we know we can't punch through? We saw he wasn't looking at us, so why not? If nothing else, we could try and get a gun barrel or a track, or even just some points, as again, we're grinding the event right now, so if we can manage to get first place in our team, and you saw, didn't you? You saw our results. It's not easy to get 4,000 score in this economy, but we had an excellent game. Now we took a few shots from one position and we're repositioning, and our goal here is to put ourselves into a place where the enemy doesn't have direct line of sight to us and doesn't expect us to be, up until the point where we capture a zone. now most of the enemy's avenues of advance are under my view, and I can see people as they're moving in, and I'm in a rather difficult position to spot, just below line of sight for a lot of people, and able to use my commander view to peek over and scout out the area around. In the meantime, my whole team is bunched up on the other side of the map, not making progress, and that's not really going to change for the rest of this match. You saw it was a loss, and I suspect I know the reason why. This is not World of Tanks. You do not want to bunch up. In fact, it's far better, even if you're not in the best tactical position or your favorite spot of the map. As we take a shot, I thought it was from our rear, so I turned around to see an allied T-25. Weren't him. It was actually from the hill beyond us, as another one comes in, just barely missing. Now is a great time to reposition. Thanks for your recommendation. So this is not World of Tanks, as much as that's not a terrible game. If you feel like playing it, go ahead and play that game. But the strategy is a little bit different here. In my opinion, in War Thunder, it's better to form a net with your teammates. What do I mean? You want to spread out. So you want to each find tactical positions that can cover one or two of your allies off to the sides, and enemies will have to aim different places to find all of you. As we take down the T-34-85 guy, and that guy will not be in the next episode of Toshio Thunder. So, PT-76 looks like an easy target, looks like the Chinese one, so no stabilizer for him, and indeed, he's still saluting the sun when we take him down. I believe he saw us when we peeked out there, but we guessed that was a Chinese PT-76, and it looked like we were correct. He was not able to get his gun even to look at us by the time... Oh! There's that Jagdpanzer, and he's just sitting pretty. His profile a bit too high to hide reliably in the spot he chose, and he wasn't looking around. Again, this is a place he wouldn't expect me to be, but there's no excuse because I already fired my cannon. He should have heard that sound. Actually, in all fairness, there have been a lot of sounds that don't render in War Thunder since the update. It seems like a lot of that has been dealt with, as each one of the patches that we've seen since the major update have dealt with sound issues, and I was very, very intensely frustrated with the situation, the soundscape in War Thunder after the major update. I was hoping for an improvement, and what I got was sedation. I felt like I was on drugs. That looks like a Panther 2, and even if it's not, anything on a Panther chassis is going to be difficult for me to take down from the front. Even a T-34-85 is dangerous, as that BF-109 comes in, manages to bounce his 20mm cannons off of my armor somehow. Maybe he was firing mostly high explosive. So we did, if you'll pardon the pun, dodge a bullet there. And now, once again, we took our shots and we're repositioning. Where are we going? We are going behind a known enemy position and supplies, as the Chinese only SPAA finds us, and even with a red cannon breach, he's able to take shots at us until our commander on the 50 cal takes him down. Now, if the commander is replacing any of our crew members, he's going to get off of that 50 cal. Thankfully, nobody inside our vehicle died, which is incredible. He must have been firing mostly high explosive, either that or we got incredibly lucky. In any event, we definitely got away just by the skin of our teeth there. With 6 kills and 3 base caps in 10 minutes into the match. Am I the only one on my team that's doing anything? Look, that entire... It must have been at least 60% of our team, more like 70%, who were all on that right side flank looking at the map. They have all gotten taken down one by one, except the last one. A round comes in. narrowly missing us, and it's once again time to reposition. I'm not going to stick it out here and enter a gunnery duel with anyone. I have my target. I want to take down that, I think it was a Panther, and I don't see him moving in between C and B, so he could possibly still be sitting in the strong point on C, holding down that zone. If he's aware of the tank destroyer on my team that's trying to approach him, that's a fantastic position for him to be in, except that I am now closing the net around him. Do you see how it's so much more of an advantage to spread out? There is an advantage in grouping up and getting all of your firepower on target, but there's a far greater advantage. Yes, that was a Panther 2. Goodbye, 6-7 Dream vehicle. You are nothing more than a wish.com. As the true American M18 Hellcat, one of the greatest vehicles in War Thunder, especially at its 5.3 battle rating, shows its ability to carry a match. If only Atlas over here had a little bit more support from his team, and yet they were doing things. They just weren't being as effective as they could be. And you know what? It gave me a chance to do some incredible things. Kudos to this M18. That player was trying his best to help out on this flank, and he was useful. So I'm not saying that my team was playing badly. I'm just saying that there is a better way, and that is to spread out. Don't make it easy for the enemy to target all of you at once. Don't make it easy for the enemy to know where the opposition is. And even in my case, when you're in a good defensible position, sometimes it's time to find a new spot. And a general rule of thumb is find a spot where you've got a good shot on 1 or 2 people if they're not looking at you. And then, I was going to say 1 if they're looking at you, but that's a worst case scenario. You really don't want them to be seeing you. Take your shot, try and get a kill, don't stick your neck out, and have an avenue of escape. Take your shot when you can, and by that I mean get out of there after taking 1 or 2 shots at the enemy, maybe picking up a kill or 2. Even if it's the best spot on the map, it's time to reposition when people know they're being attacked from a certain area. That PT-76 with his eyes on. Pro Krabby, you did not procrastinate in taking the appropriate action. He clawed me up good. And that's a little cheesy, I know. Anyway, I know there's an enemy aircraft in the sky. I can see him strafing ground targets there, so I'm going to drop my bombs but keep my rockets, because I expect there are German light-skinned tank destroyers in the area, a suspicion that will prove well-founded in short order. But first we need to deal with this enemy fighter. I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's a BF-109. We saw some white tracer, so that that reduces the number of things that it could be. And if he's strafing ground targets, his energy, we can tell, is already a little bit lower than average. We're just doing a quick zoom here to see if we can get the PT-76 that killed us, and I think he actually got shot down already. That almost sounds like a Spitfire coming in. He does have wing-mounted guns, apparently. Yep, that's a Soviet Spit, and we just continued to spray there because a Spitfire can be a tricky target, but with 8 50 cals mounted in the wings, my conversion's set to 400, so not very accurate at longer ranges. It behooves me to spray, and I thought that was like a watchtower or something for how big that enemy, I think that's a Nashorn, is on the map. Every time Fly makes a video, I see whatever vehicle he was featuring in my next battle. Maybe that's just me, but we're not going to be seeing any more of that Nashorn, not because we kill him. Someone else ends up taking him down. As much damage as we pumped into that open top tank destroyer, we do get a bit distracted here with all the ground targets moving around, and hearing aircraft in the skies. Judging from the direction, that sounds like it's coming from the Allied spawn, so I'm going to go ahead and ignore that. As I try to mark some targets for my teammates, I can tell that it's crunch time here, and our guys on the ground really need every advantage they can get. Now, I know I was taking fire from the area of the enemy's, what is that, the north? I'm not sure what direction that is. Their upper spawn, the one on the right side of the map. And try and get some hits on that M10, and I swear we got some hits there, but no sauce, no critical damage, nothing went into the open crew compartment. That must be a Chinese M10, and it's a weird feeling to play these American vehicles and face other American vehicles. More spraying into the M10, and this time we take out some of the turret crew. Is that a 90 mil? Is that the Italian M10? I am not sure. Do the Chinese get a 90 mil M10? What do the Chinese have? It seems like they have a copy of all the meta vehicles in this game. They really seem like a powerhouse of a tech tree, especially at these intermediate BRs. I really don't think they're going to be competitive at top tier, but top tier is not where the fun is anyway. I think that if I were to recommend someone a new tech tree to try out, I would recommend the Chinese. They look like a lot of fun. Not for me, of course. I already have my lineups of all these vehicles in a different nation, so I'm good, thanks. And I do love my golden name tags. Now, I thought this was an Allied aircraft because of how long it lurked behind me without shooting me, but maybe this Focke-Wulf was just waiting for the perfect shot. Unfortunately, the Focke-Wulf model that we're fighting against doesn't look like one of the TAs, where they start to get a little bit more maneuverability. This aircraft just, well, especially when you fly it the way this person is flying it, just doesn't have the maneuverability to outturn a P-47. So we're already getting him here in the second loop, and I think he's trying to zoom away. That's not going to save him because we've got 850 cals, and we light him a fuego in short order. The amazing benefits of the American multi-heavy machine gun ordnance layout with their plethora of ammunition in the sort of mid-war designs. That ability to spray and pray just really comes in handy in terms of taking shots that you wouldn't normally take in air engagements and having plenty of 50 cal armor piercing ammunition to punch through the roof or open tops of lightly armored enemy tanks, which are available in fairly good supply as we go for, what is that? It's the weird M10 again. Let's kill it before it breeds so we don't have to know what its name is. I think I might have stumbled over my tongue a little bit there. Did I mention that I have the flu today? I know, I'm sounding pretty good, but that's just because I'm so happy. I've been absolutely exhausted today. We ran out of ammunition. Speaking of exhausted, the match almost over. Our team definitely losing on victory points as we look at the one who gets credit for killing us, that what's it called, Ostwind 2 Electric Boogaloo. I just started playing my own Ostwind 2, and it is very, very fun to play. The extra turret crew and the extra gun in the turret makes it very effective and a little bit more survivable, especially in fast-paced close-range engagements. It really is a fantastic SPAA at 5.7. And an example of a vehicle being removed from the tree in terms of Flakpanzer 241 Coelian and being actually replaced with something that can actually replace it. In fact, it's better because it sits at a lower BR and has similar armament. Speaking of, well, actually, that's not a segue. It's just a real big explosion. Yes, that was a Chinese 90mm M10 model. How interesting. They get a slugger as well. launching another rocket quickly here. We gave it a little bit more lead than we needed to. Still getting a feel for the Tiger Cat's big boy rockets, and that'll be the end of the match. You guys already saw the results, and I had a great time. Now I'm back on to that grind, and I think I heard a baby crying too. Alright guys, catch you in the next video. Bye bye.